Hello and welcome back to part 2 of the Scream Retrospective series. On this video, I'm going to be going through Scream 2 and going through all of the background, the production, and how the film was made, along with casting, score, all that good stuff. If you haven't watched the first part of this 4-part series, be sure to check that out. I'm going to leave a link in the description below where you can watch part 1 of the Scream Retrospective series. So sit back, relax, subscribe to the channel, and enjoy the video. Kevin Williamson provided a 5-page outline for a Scream sequel. This was lumped in with his original script. The hope was to entice bidders with the potential of buying a franchise. Dimension moved forward with Scream 2 while Scream was still in theaters. This included the principal cast, Craven, and Beltrami. Scream 2 had a $24 million budget, whereas Scream had a $15 million budget. Scream 2 had some controversy due to significant plot information that was leaked online, which revealed the identity of the killers. Combining that with the film's rushed schedule, the script was rewritten often, along with pages being completed on the day of filming. Scream 2 earned $172 million at the box office despite the myriad of issues and received several awards and nominations. The film also received positive reviews.
Stab 2? Who'd want to do that? Sequels suck. No, come on, man. Oh, please. By definition alone, they're inferior films.
While Williamson was writing the script for Scream, he also developed 2 5-page treatments for potential sequels. After the release of Scream, Williamson confirmed that he had considered a sequel's concept where the character of Sidney would be attending college and a copycat Ghostface killer would start a new series of murders. Dimension Films agreed to pursue the sequel in March 1997. Williamson had 42 pages of the plot developed, which involved 4 different killers: Derek, Haley, Cotton Weary, and Mrs. Loomis, who was the mother of Billy Loomis. By July 1997, filming began on Scream 2. However, after Williamson transferred his script to production, it was leaked online, revealing the identity of the killers and a large amount of the plot. The production continued to film with only a partial script, while Williamson made extensive rewrites, changing much of the film's finale. Due to the short production schedule and his other projects, Williamson's final script wasn't completely developed. Craven had to write and develop certain scenes as they were being filmed. Neve Campbell had been contracted to reprise her role as Sidney Prescott in a potential sequel before filming had even began on Scream. Dimension Films added sequel options for the actors whose characters had survived previous film: Courteney Cox, David Arquette, Jamie Kennedy, and Liev Schreiber. Roger L. Jackson also returned to voice the character of Ghostface. The production approached their casting for Scream 2 similarly to Scream, seeking established and popular actors, largely sourcing the TV shows of the time. New cast included Sarah Michelle Gellar as sorority sister and film fan Cece Cooper, Elise Neal as Sidney's friend and roommate Haley, Jerry O'Connell as Sidney's boyfriend Derek, Timothy Oliphant as Mickey, and Laurie Metcalf as local reporter Debbie Salt, later revealed as Mrs. Loomis, mother of Billy Loomis from Scream. Many of the actors involved in the production, including Campbell, Cox, Gellar, and O'Connell, were starring in their own television series at the time, allowing the production limited availability to schedule their involvement. Gellar, in particular, was in between filming Buffy the Vampire Slayer and only recently finished work on another Williamson film, I Know What You Did Last Summer. Metcalf had just finished her 9-year run on the popular sitcom Roseanne when she began work on Scream 2. To secure the role of Derek, O'Connell and other candidates had to audition by performing a scene from the film where the character sings "I Think I Love You." Oliphant's involvement as Mickey was his first leading role in a feature film. The cast was rounded out by Louis Arquette as a local sheriff in charge of investigating the new murders, Dwayne Martin as Gale's cameraman Joel, Jada Pinkett and Omar Epps as Maureen Evans and Phil Stevens, and Portia de Rossi and Rebecca Gayheart as sorority sisters Murphy and Lois. Minor roles were filled by Chris Doyle and Philip Pavel as Officer Richards and Officer Andrews, veteran actor David Warner as Sydney's drama teacher, and Nancy O'Dell as an unnamed reporter who would reprise her role in future installments of the series. Tori Spelling, Luke Wilson, and Heather Graham played themselves as characters in the Stab films. Spelling was cast based on a sarcastic remark by Sydney in Scream that she would be played by Spelling in a movie based on her life. Craven remarked that she was a good sport about the joke and happy to take part.
Bullshit generalization. Many sequels have surpassed their original.
Oh, yeah?
Name one.
Yeah.
Aliens. Far better than the first.
Yeah, well, there's no accounting for taste.
Thank you, Ridley Scott rules. Name another.
Principal photography for Scream 2 took place over a 9-week period beginning in June 1997 on a budget of $24 million. Atlanta, Georgia, and Los Angeles were used to represent the state of Ohio, where the fictional Windsor College is situated in Scream 2, with filming taking place largely in Los Angeles and over 4 weeks in Atlanta. The opening scene featuring the premiere of the fictional Stab films was filmed over 3 days in the Vista Theater on Sunset Drive, Hollywood. The exterior represented the Rialto Theater in South Pasadena, California. Due to the large number of extras present in the scene, full details of what occurred were leaked online shortly after filming completed, which Craven cited as the production's first experience of a major plot leak. Agnes Scott College, just outside of Atlanta, and UCLA in Los Angeles were used to represent the fictional Windsor College. Due to the script leak, security was significantly increased, closed film sets, and a strict restriction on what personnel could be present during filming, as well as have access to the script, with all present required to sign non-disclosure agreements. The script itself was reprinted on specialty paper to prevent photocopying and was often destroyed after use. Wanting to avoid the same issues on Scream, Craven attempted to manipulate the MPAA by sending them a version of the film that had been edited to focus on the gore and violence beyond what they actually wanted in the film. This included reusing a clip of Omar Epps' character being stabbed in the ear 3 times, instead of the only once as seen in the final film, and an extended scene of Randy Meek's death that showed his throat being slashed. However, the MPAA granted Scream 2 an R rating for the more violent cut, as they believed the underlying message of the film was significant enough to warrant the violence. Marco Beltrami returned to work the score for Scream 2. Danny Elfman was brought in for a choral track Cassandra aria, which plays during a scene where Campbell's character performs in a play and again in the film's finale as Cassandra aria reprise. Excerpts from the score of the 1996 film Broken Arrow by Hans Zimmer appeared in the film, in particular guitar work by Dwayne Eddy for the character Dewey, replacing the tracks that had been developed for the character from the original Scream score. Beltrami would explain in an interview that Zimmer's piece was used as a placeholder for Beltrami's incomplete score during a test screening. The test audience reaction to it influenced the studio to keep the Zimmer piece, reducing Dewey's theme, which Beltrami had composed to fill its place, to minor use during more serious scenes involving the character. Scream 2 opened on December 12, 1997 in a little over 2,600 theaters and took $32 million on its opening weekend, a $27 million increase over Scream, and went on to take $101 million in the US and a worldwide gross of $172 million.
The Godfather, Part 2.
Good. That's the house going in.
After the first Scream film, Scream 2 is my second favorite in the franchise. It's always a fun film to revisit, lots of really great kills, a fun cast, and just an overall good time movie. So be sure to come back next week where I will be going through Scream 3, which is a bit of a controversial entry in this film and has fans of this series divided. So be sure to come back next week, and I want to thank you all again for coming by and checking out my channel and this video. So be sure to like and subscribe to this channel if you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you guys next week.